So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a proper Romanian deadlift. So I see it all the time. A lot of people pull a disc when they're doing a deadlift, and after that, they never want to do deadlifts ever again. But if you know how to properly execute a deadlift, you're actually building the resiliency of your back, and it will really help in the future of preventing disc herniations or any kind of back injuries. I will show you today in a demonstration trying to do this step by step here. So if you are a complete beginner, first you want to learn how to do the hinge movement pattern. So I always like to teach this with a stick. So I grab that. So a hinge movement pattern basically is like this, where your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. And for a Romanian deadlift, you want your knees to be slightly bent. Pretend you're sliding the stick down your legs and you're going to push your hips back. So at the bottom here, you should feel a stretch in your hamstrings unless you're very flexible. If you are very flexible, you might not feel it. But for most people, like myself, right around here, just below the knees, I typically feel that big stretch along the back of my legs here. So you want to keep your neck in a relatively neutral position. So I would be looking down as I'm coming down. A lot of people as well, they like to look at themselves in the mirror when they're doing a Romanian deadlift. If you want your neck to be in the perfect position, I would recommend you staying in more the neutral position. So if you don't know how to do this movement here, an easy thing to do is to practice using a stick like this. So basically, you're going to grab the stick, you're going to place it just on your tailbone, between your shoulder blades, and behind your head. Okay? So this is called neutral spine. So with this now, place your feet about shoulder width, bend your knees a little bit. Same thing, you're going to push your hips back, and keeping that stick stuck to all 3 points at all times. So if you're somebody that is new to doing this movement, you definitely need to be practicing that before you can actually go to the weights, because you want to be properly executing this movement here. So this is what we call a hinge pattern. You want to make sure the stick is stuck to those 3 points that I just told you about, your sacrum, back of your shoulder blades, and also back of your head. If you are good with this hinge movement, we can move on to lifting a little bit of weight. So today I have just a barbell, and I'll just show you how to properly set up with a barbell. So with the bar, most bars do have a little bit of a marking for you to know where to place your hands. So if you're trying to do a Romanian deadlift, I like to have my feet where these shiny parts are, and you're gonna place your hands right here where the grippy parts start to be. So this is gonna be the perfect hand placement for most people. Exactly what we went over just now. Feet are gonna be about shoulder width apart. You're gonna bend your knees slightly. You're gonna bring your hips all the way back as much as you can, keeping them back straight and flat, just like how I taught you with the stick earlier, okay? Just push your hips back. You're gonna slide that bar down just below the knees until you feel a stretch in your hamstrings, and you're gonna squeeze your butt and to come up. You're not gonna be doing this here where you're thrusting all the way using your lower back extensors. You're just gonna be stopping right here. Just squeeze your butt. Again, so same thing, slide the bar down, push your hips back, slide the bar down, and when you come up, just slightly squeeze your butt. Okay, so we'll do it one more time. Bum back, slide the bar down, keep your head straight, core is tight, and squeeze your butt. Okay? So I'm also going to be showing you some common mistakes that I normally see as well. A lot of people, they tell me that they're doing deadlifts all the time, but they still pull their back. So why is that? Sometimes you could be lifting way too heavy for what your body is capable of at the time. Or the bar path, you gotta make sure the bar is as close to you as possible. That's why I like to tell my clients to think about using the bar to shave your legs. So the bar can be touching your legs when you're coming down, as well as coming up. So a lot of people tend to do their deadlifts like this, where the bar is not close to your center of mass. If that's the case, you have a higher chance of hurting your back this way. You're also going to not be able to pull as much weight because the bar is just further away from you. And if you want to maximize your efficiency, you want the bar as close to you as possible. Okay, so none of this. Make sure the bar is sliding down your legs and sliding up. Sliding down and sliding up. So that is one very, very common mistake that I see, bar too far away from you. Second common mistake that I see, which we want to avoid, is rounding your back. So some people let you do it like this. When you're rounding your back, you could be potentially increasing your risk of getting hurt because your core is not tight when you're rounding your back like that. So you want to make sure you know how to do that hinge movement that I showed you earlier before you attempt a Romanian deadlift with the bar. Okay, no rounding at the back. Another common mistake that I see is that excessive hip thrusting forward. So, like I said earlier, let's not do any of these because you're not training your glutes anymore with this kind of thrust. You just want to stay at a neutral, and that's good enough. None of this, because you're just putting excessive pressure on your lumbar spine when you do this. And then the last thing that I do see often is the bar path tracking. So when you're doing a Romanian deadlift, you want to make sure that bar is straight up and down. If you're going to be drawing a line, it should be a vertical line coming down and up. Some people, if you were to film it from the side, their knees might come down and then coming back up. That's going to create a zigzag pattern, and that's not something that we want as well. Okay, so that was my demonstration of a Romanian deadlift. If you learned anything new today, feel free to give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. And also, if you are new to lifting, I'm going to be posting more weekly videos here, and you can try to learn from that. And in this video, I tried to do a step-by-step guide, and I also threw in some common mistakes of what I commonly see in the gym. Hopefully, you can try to avoid those mistakes in the future, so I don't have to see you as your physiotherapist. If you have any questions, you can always comment down below. I'll try to get back to you. And if you want to see more content in the future from me, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.